Hello guys and welcome to today's daily puzzle, some tactical assembly required. Let's get right to it. So what do I see? Well, I see that we have one clear way of giving a check. Being this bishop over here, as that only leaves the king with one option into the corner. As this bishop would give this check and this bishop has the other exits covered. However, once they have done that, we don't really have any follow-up. So we have to look for something different. Now, what other options do we have? Well, we have our queen over here, which can obviously sacrifice herself by moving over here, as that would force the king to take. Because if he does decide to move into the corner, well, then we simply have checkmate. So let's do exactly that. And now the king is in the open. It no longer can escape into this corner, meaning that this check actually has some real threat to it, as it forces the king out even more. So let's do exactly that. Now let's see what else we have. So we have this going on, we have that going on. Our pawn over here also is locking it in. The bishop is locking it in over there, meaning that the king can only move down. And we can actually give the check using our knight over here. Clearly not over there, as then the pawn can still take. So the only forcing move we have would be this. Now, however, our knight is under threat, but it once again matters very little, because as things stand, the bishop has this covered, this pawn has that covered, the knight has this covered, and the other bishop has all of this covered, meaning that once we give a check, undercover from the other pawn, this pawn will also have the king covered, and the king will be forced once more. Whilst we are luring the king into our mating net, well, we do almost have the checkmate. Because now all exits are practically covered, meaning that all we have to do is give another check, with the king only having one escape left. And luckily we have our rook to do exactly that. But now, finally, we are almost there. How are we almost there? Well, king can only move over here for now, because this all is covered by our king. This is covered by our bishop. The pawn obviously is covered by the other pawn, and this all is covered by our rook. So our rook can now slide forward, giving a check, after which actually the king will be in checkmate. There we go. Thanks for watching. Please leave a like, subscribe, and see you next time. Bye.